Alright, welcome back. It has been a while, but we are so excited to be back with Miss Ella Godwin. Now, this is somebody I would have no clue about if it were not for Avery. But I'm so glad I met her. She is definitely one of the nicest people I've ever met in my whole entire life. So I'm so excited for her to tell us her story. So, Ella, tell me your story.
I was born and raised in church, and I got saved in 2022, and I was sitting in Waffle House with my dad, and we started talking about it. And after that, it just came up a lot more in our conversations, and he ghosted me on it for about a month because he wanted to make sure I was like for real about wanting to be baptized and that it wasn't like an influence thing. That's the reason he ghosted me. But I was like, I asked him repeatedly for weeks and weeks if I can get baptized, and we talked about it every time. But then he really didn't do anything because he didn't want it to be I just want to be baptized. So I'm glad that he did that though, but it does sound weird at first. But I'm glad that he did. And so after I was baptized, a lot changed with me in the sense of I had not a lot of hatred, but I definitely had hatred in my heart before I was baptized, just because I was bullied a lot and had my feelings hurt a lot as a child, and I let that out on people in ways that I shouldn't have. And so after being baptized, there's a lot more love in my heart, and like it's easier to, I don't want to say easier to be mad at somebody, but it's easier to be upset and not go ballistic about it, you know? That makes sense?
Like it's easier to control your anger.
Yes. It's easier to control my anger. And then, ever since then, I've just been working on, like, trying to tell people about Jesus and bring them closer to him, because I know what he's done in my life, and I've seen him do things in the people around me, and I just don't want anybody to be left out of that.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of what this whole podcast is about, is to tell our stories and how we came to Christ. And not only that, but more about the challenges, because just because you've become a Christian doesn't mean that it's not going to get easy. It's going to get way harder. Yeah.
So you said that you had seen God do a lot of things in your life. Can you give us some examples?
Examples like what he's done in my life or what he's done in the people around me?
Both. I'd love to hear both.
Well, in my life, he has helped me see him in more of a day-to-day thing. Like, I go on a lot of vacations, right? And so we go out west and we go up north and we do all these things, and it's easier to see God in the creations that he puts here for us. And like, it's impossible to me that people look at that and don't think that God made that, or they don't,
like, there's no creator.
Yeah, like, how do you look at things like Niagara Falls, and how do you look at things like the Grand Canyon, and you look at all these things and you're just like, oh, Big Bang, like that? There's no way, that just doesn't make sense. But it's easier to see him in those things. And then even just driving around like here, I don't know, just easier to find him.
So can you give us like examples of how in your personal life, not necessarily like in your surroundings, but feelings or mental states or anything that has showed you how God truly good, how good he is?
I struggled with, can I talk now? Mm-hmm. Okay. I struggled with suicidal thoughts, and not like suicidal actions, but like little suicidal actions, you know? Self-harm. Sorry, that's the word.
Like,
My bad.
You can be like like straightforward as you need to.
I just forgot the word.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I struggled with those things. And so he's helped me with that, and I don't do those things anymore. And when I do feel those things, then it's easier for me to go to the Bible and pray about it rather than wallow in my own self-pity about it. Like, I don't have to sit there and feel all the bad things that I've done and all the so-and-so that's making me feel bad.
You more have a way to fight it and combat it.
Yeah. And then, so that's one big thing that's made it, or that he's changed about me. And it's just, that changed a lot whenever he helped with that. A lot got easier.
So did you struggle with self-harm and suicidal thoughts before or after you got saved?
After I got saved. Because I have this thing where I feel like I have to be perfect all the time. And I feel like I have to be this for this person, this for this person, and this for this person. And it's hard to put that kind of pressure on yourself, especially as a Christian, because you're like, I have all these standards for myself and then all these things that God has planned for me. Not in a way that, how do I explain it? It's like, I do strive to be what God wants me to be, but sometimes that can be a really big step. So you have to kind of break it down and like, oh, well, let's do this first. Let's make this better before we jump into perfection, you know? Mm-hmm. And that can be overwhelming sometimes for me, because I feel like if I mess up, then it's going to be a downfall for everyone. And that's not necessarily true.
Okay, would you mind, like, telling us, like, how your thoughts got started? Because, I mean, I, like, remember my first one and, like, what happened and how that even came about. And I know you said, like, about, like, perfectionism and stuff. But could you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
The first ones, they started after I was sexually assaulted, which I feel like is, like, not surprising, because having that happen can, like, put a lot on somebody. After that happened, it just all kind of went downhill for me really quick, because it's hard to deal with the after feeling of that, of those type of things, knowing that someone did that to me and, like, I let that happen. But at the same time, it's not like I let it happen, it just did, you know? I don't know how to explain it. It's hard to explain.
Oh, that's good.
But I don't know. And then you just think about it all the time. And everywhere you go, you're thinking about, like, oh, well, what if this happens again? Like, I have to avoid this situation. And that's also hard because, again, you're thinking about it constantly. So that brings up those bad thoughts again, because it's like, it's still in your head, you know? So that's when they started, was after that. And they've gotten better since then. Because I was sexually assaulted about a year ago, so last Memorial Day weekend. And it was, I haven't had any suicidal thoughts since the beginning of this year, I think. Yeah, since the beginning of this year.
So, do you want to talk about that experience, or would you rather not?
So, I was camping for Memorial Day weekend, and I was hanging out with the only other kids that were my age, because I'm not going to be alone. That's, like, no, I'm too fun for that. And so I was hanging out with people, and it was late one night. It was about 10 o'clock, I'd say. And we were all running around, and this guy tried to get me to, like, go off with him and do something, because we were all playing poker. And he was like, you want to, like, go and do something else? Like, go walk around? And I was like, no. Not really, because I didn't like him and I didn't want to go and, like, be with him, but he was not catching on. And so he just got a little more aggressive about it, like, let's go walk around. And I was like, you know what, fine. And so we did, and he just got really touchy, and it just escalated from there. And it escalated really quickly, and I panicked. He panicked too, because I hit him hard, and we neither of us were very happy after. But I went back to my camper and cried in the bathroom floor, and I sat there rocking myself, shaking, and I texted one of my friends, and he helped me feel better and, like, helped calm me down. And then I got a text from my martial arts instructor. They were at a tournament in St. Louis, Mississippi. Is that a place? Yes. They were at a tournament there, so not too far from where I was, just like a few hours. And she texted me about it and was making sure I was okay and all these things, and that made me feel a lot better, because it's like I felt disgusted with myself after, because, like, that just happened, you know, and it hadn't fully.
It almost made you feel tainted.
Yeah, because it was like, I don't know, it's a disgusting thought, like, ew. Anyways, like, why would somebody do that to, like, don't touch me. And then she texted me, and we talked, and she made me feel better. And I finally stopped crying, got myself together, and then I went to bed. But it was rough. And even after that, I got home, and I still had, like, marks, like, bruises on my hands from, like, punching, and, like, scratches on my, I had a scratch on my neck from, like, him
trying to get away.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Ella, for those of you who do not know Ella can hold her ground. She will go toe-to-toe with any man.
Yeah, I would never want to get in a fight with her.
Yeah,
No, it was
she
neither of us
she
would happy
actually
walking
came
away from
over
that.
to, it was my Nana's house. And she was like, Avery, this happened. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I saw her arms. There were like scratches on her arms. I was like, what was that? And she was like, he was trying to get away.
I mangled him up.
He's not dead. I mean,
No,
it's
no,
not
no,
that.
no, no, no,
He's
no.
just, he will not do that to another woman.
Definitely not. No, he I like busted his lip and like knocked out his tooth. Like it was the whole thing. And then Miss Brittany and a few other people kept asking me like, did you tell the police? Like, did you do this? And I was like, I don't want to like ruin his life though.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know if that's like, if that's a valid. I mean, I feel like it's valid. So
I mean, he was like a teenager.
yeah,
I
he
mean,
was
I
younger than
understand.
me. And
Yeah.
he had so much ahead of him, and I mean, all boys are like.
It might have just been a stupid
so, like,
mistake.
yeah, and I wasn't gonna like, I didn't want to ruin the rest of his life for that.
Yeah. And also, I mean, at that young of an age, there's really nothing the police can do but put it on his file. And so there's no good to come of
It's
that.
not like he'd get anything out of it. So yeah, I just opted not to, and it was a big deal, but like I didn't feel like it was that big of a deal because I was like, no, this happens to people, like it's fine, and I kept putting myself down about it.
You
That makes
wanted to
sense?
like downplay it.
Yeah, like no, like it's not a big deal, like it's fine. But it's worse. I feel like it's worse after because you get reminded of it and you're like, it happened once, but it comes back every single day. And so like some nights it'll be like I'll be laying in bed on TikTok or whatever, and it's just like I start crying and I'm like, what is, y'all ever like randomly start crying? It's like one of those, and I'm like, I'm not even sad, and then I start thinking about it because it's like I am sad, but it's like I didn't know that I was sad. And then it's like it turns into like I can still feel him like like touching me. That's a whole thing, but it's okay. But that definitely had its effects on me.
The literal trauma and remembrance
Yeah.
of it. So you had mentioned earlier that you have self-harmed.
Yes.
Can you kind of further explain that, and more specifically, can you tell us what, like, whenever I self-harmed, it was because I needed to let pain out some way, or else I was going to commit.
Right.
And so, but others, they cut or self-harm to feel something or anything. So can you explain maybe?
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did on my wrist under my watch band so my mom wouldn't see it, because that's the first part that he like grabbed was my wrist, and it feels, I don't like it, and it's like haunting to know that like it's just another way of the feeling disgusted. I don't know. I just started attacking it, but it didn't help, by the way. It's not the answer. It does not fix anything.
Hurting and cutting is never the answer.
Just
to
makes
it
it hurt worse because then your watch band's rubbing on it while you're trying to be at Universal, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because it's like, first of all, why would he do that? And then second of all, why would I put myself in that position? Because like I kept saying no and he kept saying yes, like let's go off and do this. And I never had that thought of, oh, he would touch me. Like I didn't think about that. Because I don't think about that. I mean, I do now, but like I don't think about that at all. Big mistake. Should have thought about that.
I know that after Amelia had told a few of her friends about her story and how that kind of went on, certain things had led, like some didn't really find it important, I guess you could say.
They really made me feel like I should not tell like anybody else, because it felt like they didn't care at all. And like,
I'm sorry.
I don't know, I'm trying to say this in a nice way, but after I told certain people, I had the thought of, I'm never telling anybody again. Like, I'm not doing this again. And it's not that I was like fishing for a reaction. It was that I had kept that inside so long, and
It starts to hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'd finally built up the confidence to like tell people that were really close to me, and these people that were really close to me just kind of pushed it off.
They kind of shot you down for it.
Yeah, like it wasn't important or, something that I should be so uptight about.
Yeah, because it's like that happens to everyone. Okay, well, it happened to me.
Yeah.
Like, and we're talking about me right now.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. So, I don't know. That kind of stopped me from telling people for a while.
Did you have anyone that you've told about any of your troubles, whether that be depression or self-harm or your sexual assault? Did anyone ever downplay that, or how did the people that closest to you react, and how that affect you?
Let me start from like the top people. So like my mom. My mom doesn't know about the self-harm thing, but I told her about kind of what happened with the sexual assault. But I didn't tell her, like, everything. I just told her that some guy was bothering me and he was getting kind of touchy, but I handled it. That's all I told her. Because I didn't want...
You did handle it.
I sure did. Because I didn't want her to make it a big deal. And I didn't want my dad to make it a big... I told my dad, but, like, I really didn't make it a big deal to him. Because I had this thing.
You kind of just wanted it to go away, and you didn't want it to keep...
And I didn't want it to be this thing that's like, oh... she's pathetic. Like, look at her and look at what happened. Like, I didn't want it to be
appear weak or less than.
I didn't want that to
Yeah.
not want that to happen.
I think that's one of everyone that struggles with anything mentally.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to a woman a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about how I had wanted to go to work in behavioral medicine.
Yeah.
And she was saying that she had struggled with anxiety ever since she was little, and she said, I finally broke and got medicine. And I was like, what do you mean? She said, like, I finally, like, just kind of, like, accepted that I can't do it. So, I think anyone that struggles with anything is to the point where they're like, I want to handle, I think that's one of the reasons it's so hard to come to Christ.
Because you want to be able to do it by yourself.
Exactly. And I think one of the most freeing things that you can ever do is tell God, I can't do it on my own. That's why every time I talk to somebody, you're not meant to do it on your own.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
So I just didn't want it to be a big deal with my family. And my brothers know. They know a little bit more than my parents, only because they were there. Like, they weren't there when it happened, but they were there when me and him walked off. Mm-hmm. And then they saw him come back all mangled up.
Beaten and bruised.
Yeah. But I'm glad we can laugh about this. But I told you and her, that's right. I told y'all, and y'all reacted. How did y'all react? Y'all were like nice about it, but y'all were like understanding.
I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I had never
shocked,
heard
course.
of anybody like this actually happening to somebody I knew.
Yeah.
Especially my age.
Yeah, not only was I shocked, I was proud of you for like.
Yeah, you were like, and you
handling-
beat him
like,
up.
I was like, you got that, girl. Like, you go.
Yes, and that made me feel so much better because I was like, someone's recognizing the fact that I stood up for myself.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
no one
literally
had-
beat him up with your
Yes.
hands. Like,
No
girl,
one had
what?
recognized that.
If y'all are watching this on YouTube, there's going to be a picture of Ella, so you can see. But on Spotify, if y'all have never met Ella,
I'm precious, guys.
she is precious. She's, like, I could pick her up with one arm. She's a little bitty baby. I love her so much. But she has done Taekwondo since she was...
I've done it for 5, almost 6 years.
Yeah, and she can throw me over her shoulder. So,
Can and will.
Can and will.
And has.
And has.
But yeah, I told y'all, and no one had recognized the fact that I stood up for myself, and that hurt my feelings because I was like, I beat him up though. I was like, I did so good.
Yes,
handled
girl,
it.
you did.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, I'm getting comfortable now. But I told a few of my other friends, and I told the guy that I texted, who was my friend. He was not happy. He wasn't mad at me. He was just mad that it happened to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He was like upset that he wasn't there to help. That was his thing. Because when I got a text from my instructor, she was like, he is not happy right now. Like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I was not okay. But it's fine. And then I told a few of my other friends, and they were all... I don't think they believed me at first, which is a little heartbreaking because okay, I want attention. I do other things for attention. I would not lie about this. Like, I can get attention other ways. And so that kind of hurt a little bit because I told them, and I sent them pictures of like my hands and my arms. And they were like, yeah, I don't think it was like that big of a deal. And I was like, are you being serious? They were in fact being serious.
That is insane to me.
Yeah.
That is wild.
I was not happy after that.
I don't know that we should be friends with those friends anymore.
We are with one of them, but... And then everyone else who I told was just kind of like understanding about it, and they understand what it does, like how it affects me still today. Ooh, here's a funny story. We were at school after it happened, like starting back to school. We were in the lunchroom.
Whenever I had to like,
Yep.
So I always had to walk behind Ella, and which I was happy to do. Like, if any of y'all know me at school, I'm like the mom of our group.
Yes.
I really am.
Yes, I love it.
And so I like, even Olivia, I make her walk on the inside, like of everywhere we go, because I'm like, I want you to be okay. I want you to be safe. So like, I was always having
Very
to
motherly.
Yeah,
I really.
also like as big as hell.
Yeah, Olivia's also like teeny tiny. But anyways, and there were actually times at lunch we sat at a table and there would be guys that would pass behind her and you could just see the panic that would come across your face. Yeah.
Ew. At school.
Well, girl,
It was
too.
yeah, but
That's
still.
like PTSD.
That's I didn't like the weakness though, because that really got to me, because I was like, why am I letting this bother me still?
Because
It
it's
was
traumatic.
Yeah, I understand that now, but in the moment I did not understand it. And so just having those little, I don't want to call them episodes, but having those little moments at school wherever it would hit me again. Yeah. It was rough for like the first like week, 2 weeks maybe. I think it was really bad then, but like
it was
after-
really rough for about 2 weeks, but you could still tell how it
About-
affected you about
even
a month.
now still kind of.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
It's gotten better.
visibly.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't know her, you could tell that something was wrong with her for about a month. But
Yeah.
unless you know her and what had happened, you can't tell.
Yeah, and that's good. I'm happy that it's like better now, because
That you've healed.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just easier to do anything.
Manage.
Yeah, but it definitely took a toll on me, but we're good now.
So, what advice do you have for people who have gone through that? Because you are not the first one we've talked to, actually.
Really?
So, what is your advice?
I would just have to say that, I mean, from my personal experience, like, don't feel so disgusted with yourself, because that's not something that you wanted to happen, and that's not something that you planned on happening. And you can't have a testimony without being tested, and that's just a part of mine. And so that's just a part of my testimony, and that's just another way that God is going to use me to get to others, because that's a soft spot for whoever it's happened to. I'm sure that's a soft spot for a lot of people. And so having someone who's been through that same thing can be easier to open up, because you don't feel so dramatic and you don't feel so extra about it, like, oh, this still bothers me from happening a year ago, because you know that it bothers them too, and you're not the only person who's still thinking about it.
Yeah, those wounds are the hardest to close.
Yeah, they stick. You can't wash your hands enough, you can't shower enough to where it goes away.
So if you could talk to your younger self right now, at any point in your life, what would you tell her?
I would tell her that I don't need to build my personality and the way that I act off of what other people want me to be, because doing that is just going to drain me, and it's just going to make me feel like I'm not enough for somebody if I keep having to change to make them satisfied. But I would definitely tell her not to don't build your personality off of what other people expect from you, because God designed you to be who He wants you to be, not as a project for other people. You know, that's what I would tell baby Ella.
Before we kind of start closing, is there anything else you would like to share or explain?
I feel like my health problems also come into play when it comes to really anything, because Avery, you understand, because
Yeah.
Like
5 minutes ago.
Right. Because me and Avery both have. Did you tell them that you have POTS?
I think I did in my interview. But
Me
those
and
who don't know
Avery.
what POTS is, it's postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And it's where your heart rate gets too high, anything happens, and your
You
autonomic
pass
system,
out.
which is your blood pressure and your breathing,
Forgets how to act.
yeah, so you pass out. Ella has it a lot worse than I do. Ella actually called me one night, and she was at church, and she calls me bawling, crying. She goes, "Avery, did you give me POTS?"
It was.
It's not
rough.
contagious. It is not
No.
contagious.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I remember when you found out though.
Yeah.
I remember that day. I don't have anything to say about it. I just remember it being like this major event in your life.
Yeah, it definitely, it was, anyways, that's not my story, that's yours, tell it.
Oh, well, I'm just saying though. But yeah, and so it definitely has its effects on me and whatever else I do, just because it's hard to manage, I guess. And so I have POTS, and I'm anemic, and I have asthma, and I have something else, but we don't know what it is yet. And so I just had that EEG to try to figure it out, and we got nothing. So one of the hardest parts is not knowing what's wrong, so you're not able to fix it. So I can do all the things that make POTS better, and I can do all the things that make asthma, and all the things that do whatever and make it all better, but it's not working because there's something else that we can't fix. So just having that feeling of I'm not healthy, I guess, and like I have things
Undiagnosed.
yeah. And I have things that stop me from doing the things I want to do. Like whenever my church goes out and like shares the gospel, evangelism, all these things, I can't do it as well as everybody else can. Because I get hot, I pass out. I get tired, I pass out. All these things. And I just feel like it stops me from doing a lot because it just makes it really hard to go and do that. And then of course you pass out, you feel better. You're still like kind of groggy, I guess. So it's just really annoying more than anything.
So you said the feeling of being undiagnosed, and
Yeah.
that, I feel like that's true for a lot of people. So if you
Definitely.
could,
Elaborate on that.
well, yes, but also like, what would you say to those people?
Just that God has a plan, and whether we know what that is or not, which most of the time we don't, but whether we fully understand it or know it, it's still a plan, so it still has a expected outcome, and God is in the power to know the outcome, and that it's gonna end up okay,
Yeah, and as someone that has always been told, especially whenever stuff goes bad in my life, as Mimi and Poppy are, I mean, they're such devout Christians, it's really easy to say, trust God and it's gonna be okay. Trust God and he'll get it. He's got it. But it's so much easier to say that instead of do that.
because if you're anything like me, then you want to do it by yourself. And you like the
Yeah.
reassurance of knowing you can do it by yourself because, like, oh, if something goes wrong, I can still fix it.
Yeah.
But
like
you
I said
can't.
earlier, like saying, God, I can't do it by myself. And this, I guess, would be giving up control is one of the hardest parts as well.
Oh, yeah,
Giving
for sure.
up
For me
control and
especially.
saying, I'm submitting to you.
Like, I need help.
Exactly.
I don't say that a lot.
Do you want to talk about your academic struggles, like, and how it's affected you, or do you just want to, like, leave that
Actually,
out?
because, like, I have a few things.
Yeah.
It's so hard to be doing school in the summer. Y'all, listen. Mom's got me doing biology. I had a meltdown the other day because what do you mean I'm doing all this and I don't even like biology? And it's so annoying.
I saw you with Claire and her talk.
I was on the verge of tears after that. I was like, I have to do all this. And then, this is going to sound so dumb, but I'm being so serious. I have such a hatred for math, like, in my heart. Like, it is, that sounds so pathetic. It is so bad. It is concerning. I have meltdowns and I fall apart because math sucks. And I don't know why anyone would enjoy doing math. That's different. I think. I don't know how.
I like math because it's organized, because everything in my life is not. I think that's why Amelia is always so easy to get along with because she is the most organized person that I have ever met. She is type A if there ever was one, and I am type B if there ever was one. But I still I'm type A in my life, but I'm at type B in my life, but I'm type A in my routines. Like the other day, I didn't have my Nito with me to read my Bible, and I almost freaked out. I was like, something's not right.
We're on FaceTime. She goes, Amelia, something's wrong.
But I don't even. Oh yeah, I love math because it's organized. It brings a sense of structure. But
see, I hate structure. I like to just do whatever I want whenever I want, and I'm not big on.
You would give me panic attacks.
I do. What? It's just like I just really don't like it, and it sounds so dumb, but I genuinely do have such a hate for math. Like it's growing each and every day because I keep having to study.
I don't think it's a hatred for math. I think it's a hatred for something you can't do.
You're right. For those of you who don't know, which is probably a lot of you, I don't do anything I'm not good at because I can't stand to lose.
Yeah, we were playing Wordle the other day, and she was like, "Turn it off. I can't." I was like, "Okay."
And then we'll be doing like Hangman, and I'll know the answer. I'll be like, "It's the Golden Gate Bridge. I know it."
Miss King will look at us and like, "Girls, settle down."
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, headphone users, literally anyone.
My bad.
You're just gonna be sitting there and you're like,
"Ow!" That's how it feels for everyone in class with me, though.
Yes.
I just get so excited whenever I'm right and whenever I'm good at something, and then whenever I'm wrong or I'm bad at something.
If you are in a competition with her and she beats you, she will never let you live alone. Like, it will always and forever be something that she'll remind you of each and every day.
My best moments are the ones where I beat people and things.
Yeah, I think she beat me one time in Jeopardy. She beat me one time in Jeopardy, and she was like,
"Oh my gosh, that was so fun."
I was like, "Shut your mouth, Ella." Like, I actually shut up.
Yeah, I was really annoying about that. I know I was. It was bad. It gets really bad sometimes. I feel like that's another thing. That's like a bad thing also is the fact that like I can't stand to lose. And like when I lose, then I get so upset about it, and it ruins my mood.
But that's probably because, like you said earlier, you want to be perfect for everyone.
And it gets on my nerves whenever I'm not, because I know that I'm not, but the fact that I let myself think that I might be hurts my feelings, because how dare I, you know?
Yeah. But at least you're like not in denial about it, though. You were there for a while.
No, I'm perfectly aware that I am not perfect. But
yeah, well, I mean, everyone
perfectly aware that I'm not. I'm sorry.
I have a lot of yearbook quotes in this.
Yeah. I think my yearbook will still always be Laugh So You Don't Cry.
I don't know what mine's going to be yet.
It's on her wall.
I don't know what mine's probably one of these.
Probably.
Yeah, I like that.
Bars.
Pretty good, you know?
Yeah.
You can't have your testimony without a test, like.
Yeah, that one's. I still can't get over that one.
I'm proud of myself.
The one episode that Amelia's talking the most, Amelia doesn't even have a mic.
I know they can hear me because I'm like screaming over here.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so good. Quote that. Get it on a t-shirt.
Cut it out.
I actually might get that on a t-shirt.
If you do
the
get
test.
Me one.
That's good.
I want one. We can all have matching t-shirts and we can go share
Yes.
the gospel.
Oh.
Yes. Don't cut that out. That's precious.
Yeah, that is precious.
We're going to do that.
We're like harmonizing
Are
there.
there any Bible verses or quotes from songs, literally anything that has helped you go through anything and you still hold dear to your heart?
Ooh, there's a lot. Okay. That was a stutter.
If you could pick one that like came to your mind, or like the top 3 or something like that.
Okay. Songs for me are really, how do I say it without sounding like weird or cringy? It's like a big part of like everything for me. Like music and songs.
That's not cringy. It's how Amelia is. I mean, that's how she
I just didn't want to
processes
say it
things.
Yeah. I don't know what to talk about.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I just love music
singing
so
songs
much.
is how I half the time spread stuff. Like how I
like to sing. It's just not very good. But like I still
Real.
do it
Me too,
anyways.
twin.
Like you're funny. Yeah. No, I sing all the time. But some songs like "Counting My Blessings." His name begins with a S. I think it's Steven. But that song, and then, ooh, what's another one? "Have Your Way" by Katie Nicole. I love Katie Nicole. Oh my gosh. I love her song. I'm trying to think of which one it is. When I Fall, that song by Katie Nicole, When I Fall. I love that song. I love that so much. And then I'd say those are my top 3. And Judas, because I heard it before y'all sang it that time, but then I liked it after y'all sang it that time. I got my whole family on that song, by the way.
Did you really?
Yeah, we listen to it all the time. I like that song too.
It puts it in. If y'all haven't listened to it, please go listen to it. It is such a good song, and it's
Josiah
so eye-opening.
Queen. Yeah.
Josiah Queen. I sang one of his songs yesterday at church. It was 2 Wooden Beams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that song.
But yeah, so besides that, are there any Bible verses or quotes that you hold dear to your heart as well?
It's hard to think of just one. It's kind of like not related at all, but I think it's 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Therefore, encourage each other and build one another up, just as in fact you are doing. That's really unrelated to a lot, but I like that Bible verse. I wrote that on the wall when they were building the youth room at church. I like that one just because I guess it's just another reminder that you're not meant to do this alone. You have people with you who help and encourage.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I love you. God loves you. And you ought to love yourself.
Oh, I do.